Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Rants and Yarn with Two Best Friends. And I'm doing another video by myself since Stefanie's busy, and I'm trying to get out all these articles I want to talk about and different things that have been happening. And so far we don't know anything yet about the progress of what's going on since the last video, so I'll keep you posted when I learn more. But with the article that I have for you is on comedy. Ellen DeGeneres is not as nice as you think. Well, maybe behind the scenes she can be a little, how everybody is. They're nice when they want to be nice, and they're not nice when they don't want to be nice, But on TV, you always have to portray yourself as a nice person so that everybody will like you and want to watch your show, and your ratings will be good. Because if you're perceived in the negative way, then you'll lose your ratings and less people want to watch you or be on your show. Feeling boxed in by her reputation for kindness, the comic is weighing whether to leave daytime TV as her wife wants or to stay as her brother urges. And in my opinion, it's good to hear both sides from two different people as to why they think you should stay, and why one person thinks you should stay and why another person thinks you should leave, And I mean, if you want to do other things and pursue other aspects of your life and things that you used to do before the daytime show became your full-time commitment, then why not? Then go do what you love to do. And yeah, go do what you love to do, Ellen DeGeneres got sick of dancing, and really, can you blame her? Yeah, everybody knows her mantra of dancing. She always dances before and the end of the show, and gets other people to dance with her too. And that's what people know her as, and most people do that when they know someone as, oh, she's the one that dances, or he's the one that this or that. They always go up to that person and make them do what they're known for, ask them to do what they're known for doing, as well as taking a picture with them, and they feel like, oh, so that's what people only know me as, and they feel like people don't know them for the other things that they do. She has to be the only 60-year-old woman in America who is expected to dance with total strangers wherever she goes. There's been times someone wants a picture, and while I'm doing a selfie, they're like, "You're not dancing," DeGeneres said in her office at the Warner Brothers lot in Burbank, California. "Of course I'm not dancing. I'm walking down the street." Well, of course, when a fan notices her, they expect her to dance when her name's called, and to dance in the picture, etc., 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 etc. Then she can probably go back to walking after that, but she's not going to want to dance all the time as she's portrayed. She's not going to dance down the street and be like, "Hey, there's Dancing Ellen!" As she prepares to release her first comedy special in 15 years, DeGeneres is considering a much bigger change, retiring from the long-running hit show that bears her name. She's been receiving conflicting advice from her wife, the actress Portia de Rossi, and from her older brother, Vance DeGeneres, a comedian, and has changed her mind more than once. Well, of course, she can take a break from her daytime show and go do her comedy bits around the country, and and she can go back and forth between the two. But if she doesn't feel it in her heart anymore, then she should probably stop and just continue her comedy bits, or just go on and do other things that she's happy doing. At a transitional moment in her remarkable career, DeGeneres agreed to sit for a rare series of interviews over 2 days, as much as anyone possibly could. She has taken on Oprah Winfrey's mantle as the queen of inspirational daytime talk, providing an oasis of positivity and escapist comedy in a culture short on both. But with DeGeneres' status as a sunny stalwart come certain burdens and constrictions, like the expectation to dance, which she finally stopped doing on her show 2 years ago after some agonizing over how her audience would react. And yeah, Oprah Winfrey, she was the queen of daytime talk show, and then she decided she didn't want to do that anymore, so she left, and she started her own network, and she still does she still hosts a talk show from time to time, but it's not like a regular daytime airing type thing, and she has time to do other things that she has an interest in. And I think Ellen kind of feels like she wants to do that now. And yeah, so she recently stopped dancing. Well, because she didn't feel it anymore. She probably does it occasionally, but she doesn't want people to just know her for that, you know. And she's probably replaced Oprah in the ratings of a daytime talk show host, because now Oprah's not there anymore, so she's filling in the shoes of everyone loves her. But you know, after you've done it for so long, you kind of get tired and want to move on. In person, she's more blunt, introspective, and interesting than she is on the show, willing to express mild irritation that might seem off-key in front of a national audience. She's also much more likely to explore dark corners of her psyche, regrets, second thoughts, anxieties that linger, and DeGeneres is appealingly open about the tensions in her career between providing cultural safe space, delivering laughs, and says she has learned to care less about being liked. Of course, because she's going to make comments that not everyone's going to like, and she wants culturally to be accepted and have a safe space so she can showcase all different cultures of people who come to talk on her show, different people in society, and different celebrities. And you know, of course, she's not always going to be liked for what she talks about, or the comedy she does, or whom she brings onto her show, and what she does with her money and her time, you know. And now she doesn't care anymore, because she's not out there to always be liked and to have to think about that. Looking for something to stream tonight? No. Looking for something to stream tonight? Sign up for the watching newsletter. Okay, sorry. Okay. Swooping her own approachable, down-to-earth image, her surprising new special, Relatable, available December 18 on Netflix, doesn't just reveal a refreshingly irrelevant version of Ellen DeGeneres, it also provides a window into her state of mind. So now she's entering into the Netflix world and doing shows that people need to watch to see the other side of her, you know? Because she wants to do different things now, like her comedy bits, shows where she does more comedy, you know. It's in sharp contrast to her public image as everyone's good friend. Happy to listen, she presents herself with tongue-in-cheek as cartoonishly aloof and indifferent, stuck in a privileged bubble, cracking several jokes, for instance, about her fabulous wealth. Forbes reports that she earned $87.5 million this year, making her the 15th highest paid celebrity in the world. When she mentions a seat in the 10th row of an airplane, she admits with practiced cluelessness the back of the plane is a mystery to her, asking if the seats even go that far. Well, of course, because when you're a celebrity, you only sit in like first class or business class. You hardly ever even get into economy, if at all, and you don't even know what it looks like because you're not even shown that. Unless you really want to go see, then you can go see. But and of course, she earns a lot of money since she's the 15th highest paid celebrity in the world. So of course, she will never see the back of an airplane because she'll always be in business class, if not first class. For a famously nice talk show host, this is risky stuff. Yet the most jarring jokes in this special are those that subvert her reputation for kindness. Through a lifetime of clean comedy, she startles her crowd with a curse. The comic Tig Notaro calls it a decades-long payoff, adding, "Then you're like Ellen's a real person with a foul mouth." Well, of course. In her regular daytime talk show, she's all clean. But now that she did her Netflix show, she can let loose and be whom she wants to be and say a curse word here or there. Because she's trying to show herself, show her true identity, at the same time, do something different in her comedy, and she doesn't have to be on high guard about the content. She can just let loose and do as she feels. Have a curse word here and there, and just be, non-PC. Notaro, a friend who co-directed the special with Joel Gallen, said that while these are jokes, they are rooted in honesty. Being trapped in the world of being asked to dance and expected to be nice, it's real, Notaro said by phone, noting that, of course, DeGeneres is exceedingly grateful. I'm sure there's people who think she's kidding or can't have a bad day, but she does. It's an interesting pickle she's in. Of course, because you're made to look like you just have to be this whole perfect person, but then when she does the show, she can show that she's not totally perfect. She may not want to dance and please people with that all the time. She can show that she's having a bad day, People can see that there's another side to her too. So we all have our good side and our bad sides, but we can all mix it together and make something good out of it, We don't have to just be kind all the time or show our face that way all the time, No, we're not gonna, it's not necessarily like being mean to someone, but it's just, showing that we're not our best selves that day. We're still good people, but we just have our bad days, Asked why his sister returned to stand-up, DeGeneres, a former correspondent for The Daily Show, helped create the Mr. Bill shorts for Saturday Night Live, said, after doing the show for 16 years, it's second nature. She wanted to break out of, not a rut, but a mold. Of course, because her talk show is like a mold where this is how it plays out every day, and it doesn't change. Maybe you'll add something new from time to time, but it's the same kind of lineup, You do your bit, then you have a sit down with some celebrity or some famous person you're going to talk to, and then maybe you're going to have some normal person from society that you're going to showcase what great thing they do, and then help them out with some money, or just showcase somebody you saw on YouTube that you think is great and bring them on to get some spotlight, and then they become famous because you help them garner that. And then you just go with a show like that, and you come up with other things to do for your show, like live from different areas. She has people go out and do show things live from different areas, you know, and stuff like that. She has different gigs going on to make the show interesting, but mostly it's the whole same setup, and you kind of do the same thing. It's just different people you're interviewing, different people you're talking to, different audiences that you're talking to, and different people you're helping and seeing what's going on in the world. And here's another picture. It says here, DeGeneres came out publicly in 1997 on her sitcom opposite Laura Dern. Initially celebrated, she was stung by criticism from gay viewers for not being more political. So she did acting too, back before she started her daytime talk show. We all know that she's gay and she's married to Portia, but you know, in the beginning she wasn't totally out and open with it in a more political sense. But I mean, everybody opens up in a different way. You don't have to fit into the mold and say, well, this is how you're supposed to do it, and this is how we view people and how they do things. And I'm like, no, you don't have to conform to the mold and expect, because of course they're celebrities, and if they come out in a certain way, it makes it look better for the whole gay community, for even those people who are not famous, you know. Helps to make it easier for them to live in the society. I understand. But you can't be mad at how they present themselves and how they do it, because they're trying to preserve themselves and do it in a way where they're not going to get hurt, and it's going to hurt their career. But of course, normal people will think, oh, she's not being true to herself and helping us out here. And I mean, like, so what? Will she be helping you out? So what? Will she be helping you if she pushes it out there in the way you want her to, and then loses a lot of things in between? Will that make you feel better, you know? For some people it will, for some other people it kind of won't. So, you know. DeGeneres put it another way, emphasizing the kind of expression stand-up allows. I wanted to show all of me, she said. The talk show is me, but I'm also playing a character of a talk show host. There's a tiny, tiny bit of difference. Yeah, because there's a whole decorum to being a talk show host. And, you know, you still have to play in that role, and you can't just totally be yourself. When you're just doing a show and it's just you and about you, and you're the center of it, then you can be you, and nobody can judge you for that, because you're portraying yourself. Even if it's doing your comedy bits, you're doing it yourself. You're portraying yourself and what you want to show. Because daytime talk shows get less attention than their late night counterparts, DeGeneres is often overlooked in discussions of important hosts. But make no mistake, no other current daily host has been as successful or celebrated. Among her vast collection of awards are the Presidential Medal of Freedom and the Mark Twain Prize of American Humor and 32 Emmys. And apart from Conan O'Brien, no one matches her television longevity. She's been daytime host for as many years as Jon Stewart led The Daily Show, or Influence. Years before Jimmy Fallon turned games into standard elements of The Tonight Show, DeGeneres regularly invited guests to play them. So Ellen DeGeneres followed other people like Jimmy Fallon by creating games for people to play in her talk show, which is fun. And of course, a daytime talk show, and there are people who stay at home and are able to watch it, or get home at that hour and are able to watch it. But I mean, if you really like to watch someone and you can record the show, why not, and watch it before you go to bed, or watch the tapings on the weekend when you're home, if you're free. I mean, don't ignore daytime if you're interested in them. If you're not interested, of course, then don't watch it, But if you're interested, then record and watch it later. I mean, don't ignore the people in the daytime shows just because you're not home to see it. You're like, oh, whatever. I mean, back in the day, I understand. There's no way to, like, properly tape things, and it was too difficult. Now you can just, if you pay for the DVR, now you can just record any show you want and watch it whenever you want, you know? Or you can go back and watch recordings, because sometimes they'll have it showing on Hulu, Netflix, or on the Comcast Xfinity, you know. Fallon has become known for these segments, and they have been imitated on other shows, but they all clearly owe DeGeneres a debt. Last year, she started a hit game show, Ellen's Game of Games, which returns for a second season in January. I'm flattered that he's taken steps, DeGeneres told me, adding, he said he was going to steal everything, so it's fine. See, she has fun doing these games, so she created her own game show where she makes a laugh out of people playing these funny games, which are just hilarious. Of course, they win something at the end, but the challenges they have to do and the games they have to play to get there, they're pretty hilarious. And if you have time and you want to laugh, then you should go check it out, you know? She's not trying to hurt anyone. She's just making a laugh out of all the games, you know, and making it fun. And that's what she wanted to do, because she didn't have time in her talk show to do. They would play like one game in her at her daytime show. They play one game every time, and that was fun. So she wanted to make it like a whole hour dedicated to that and giving people prizes. So it's fun to see, and she has comic relief. She finds comic relief out of it, but not at people's expense, yes, but the people who choose to be on it know what they're getting at, so they should be ready for all the laughs. During an October taping of her show, what stood out was the stark contrast between the relaxed, low-key charisma of DeGeneres and the chaotic, charged-up energy of her audience. The crowd is encouraged to stand and dance, but they don't need to be told. They are ready to party, while DeGeneres projects a seemingly paradoxical blend of warmth and reserve, actively engaging, waving at people, listening intently to guests, adding a quip here and there, but never pushing too hard. If you come to the taping of an Ellen show, that means you're an excited fan of Ellen and you really wanted to be there and watch. So, of course you're going to jump up and join in the dancing if that's what's happening, or be enthusiastic when it's time to be enthusiastic about the different aspects that's going on in her show. Because if you weren't into the hype, then you wouldn't even be there. And you wouldn't be. Because if you just go there and then you just sit and watch and you don't join in the hype, then what's the point? You can just sit in front of your TV and watch it and not have to join the hype. So if you're there, that means you want to be there for the hype and you want to join and get excited as everybody dance and scream and get excited and all that. With the supreme confidence of a professional who has seen it all before, she ping-pongs from a monologue of topical jokes to an interview with a chef dying of cancer. From playful joking with Sean Hayes of Will and Grace to talking to a Tennessee assistant principal whose dance video went viral. Some guests cry. More than one leaves with a big check. DeGeneres is clearly having a good time, but her energy remains steady. She doesn't look like someone going through the motions, ready to retire, nor does she appear particularly challenged. Well, of course, when you're doing your day-to-day show, you're not going to show to the people that you want to retire. It's just going to be in the back of your mind that you talk to with people in your lives, the people you work with, etc., you know? Every time you put on your show and you're out there, you're just going to show to people that you're ready to do it today, and it shows that, well, here, I'll be back for the next one. and everybody will get caught by surprise when you decide to end it, of course, but you don't want to show that. You want to show enthusiasm and like, yay, I'm going to be there for the next one every single day. And of course, she has different people on her show. She's not just going to make it all sad the whole show, you know. She's going to have her monologue, and then she's going to maybe have a fun person to talk with, and it's going to be all fun, and then later it's going to be tears because she's talking with someone about a hard topic, of course, or some really hard things that happen in their lives, and of course she'll help them out, giving them something that they need to help them move forward with their lives, and like money or some other things, whatever they may need, you know. And she likes to showcase different people and what they've done in this world or what they went viral for, you know, because she wants everybody's light to shine and she wants to help people. That's the kind of person she is. And of course she's going to have celebrities on the show and talk to different people, maybe happy, maybe sad, you know, and all the in between. But you're not going to have just a sad show, or you're not going to have just, maybe the whole show won't be all like 100% happy all the time, you know. It's just not how it goes. Or it could be all happy for one whole episode, but I don't think that's how she does her show. After the show, without her makeup on, she still looks a decade younger. Her alert blue eyes, her most distinguishing feature. She sat in an elegantly airy office surrounded by paintings as she analyzed her performance, beat by beat, with authority of a doctor explaining lab results. In this post-mortem, she said one of her trickiest challenges involved a segment focusing on a 6-year-old's romantic duet of Meant to Be with her dad. After hearing this youngster sing to her father about her broken heart, DeGeneres chuckled off camera, turned away and smothered a smile. In that moment, she thought of a joke to use when the song was over. That was adorable and, she said, employing her characteristic stammer, really, really creepy. She knew this would get a big laugh, but would that embarrass the girl? Would she be hurt? DeGeneres held off, concluding this would not suit her show. It's escapism for what's going on. 1 hour feeling good, she said. At the core, it's a comedy show. But if it's not funny, at least it feels good. Yeah, you have to watch what you say, because you think something funny and you want to say it, but then you don't know how the person will react to it, you know, especially a young girl, but, you know, whatever. The next morning, DeGeneres in jeans and a casual white shirt sat staring at the ocean from her beach house outside Los Angeles in Carpinteria, where you can see dolphins leaping from the water. George Lucas lives 2 doors over, and Conan O'Brien is down the way, as her action kutcher Mila Kunis. She has a farm nearby and a place in the city, but she seems to prefer this tranquil spot, where she walks her dogs and chats with neighbors. It's the most community I have ever felt, she said. Well, of course, most celebrities live next to other celebrities, but not everybody will be living on like Rodeo Drive, because that's just not possible. And I think living by the ocean is nice and calming if you can afford it. As her private chef dropped off a drink, she explained that she spent a year struggling to come up with a subject to make comedy about. I used to talk about airplane food, she said, summing up her gentle, mainstream style of observational humor. What do I do now? See, if you can't make up your own comedy, you get people to help you. And lucky her, she gets a private chef who can make her drinks and whatever else she wants. If I could do that, maybe I'd pay for one. Just ask them to do everything for me. That would be lovely. And DeGeneres called tabloid stories that she isn't always kind to those she works with an outright lie. Well, of course, here's a picture of her. Of course, the tabloids are going to paint you sometimes in a different light, and then you have to explain to the people that it's not true, and that's just how tabloids are. So you have to take them for what it is and not always believe it. But of course she's nice to people she works with, or they probably wouldn't want to work with her, you know? Her breakthrough, she explained, came when she developed a bit about whether she was still relatable, which, considering the extravagant surroundings, she and DeRossi have worked for Richard Serra, Tracy Emin, and Basquiat. Does sound like a joke, but it is a subject DeGeneres understands in a personal, idiosyncratic way. It was interesting to me that I was more relatable when I was closeted and dishonest than when I came out, she said. Of course, when you're straight, people tend to trust you more and think you're more relatable, but then when you come out as gay, some people are like, oh, then she won't know how to relate to me anymore because I'm straight. But then all the gay people will be like, well, she's not gay enough, so she won't understand me, or she's not this and she's not that. But she is. She's gay in her own way, and then of course she's going to understand you. It's just maybe you don't think she does or will, you know. When she came out of the closet in 1997, the first lesbian lead of her own sitcom, Ellen, she became a huge star on the cover of Time, accompanied by the headline, "Yep, I'm gay." But what's remembered less is what happened next. ABC put a parental advisory warning on the show and canceled it the next season. According to DeGeneres, her straight audience left her and she received wounding criticism from gay viewers for not being political enough. Elton John's comment that she should stop talking about her sexuality and be funny still stings. She sank into a depression. Of course, you want to come out and tell the world you're gay, and you do it through your sitcom, and then the people, the straight community takes it like, oh. And then they don't want to watch you anymore just because of that. And then other gay people say, well, you didn't come out in this way or didn't do it that way, and then of course it will bring you into a depression because then you're going to think that you didn't do it right, and it's like, man, and then you don't know how to jump back from it, and it's hard. It's hard. Because it's hard to be funny and talk about your sexuality at the same time, it's true. And yet, while DeGeneres has a spikier, more confessional style in her new special, this is more of a recalibration than a reinvention. She still dances and shows videos of adorable animals, even though DeRossi told her it was too much like her talk show. DeGeneres' inclusive sensibility remains fundamental to her outlook. She's too much of an old-school entertainer to pour out her neurosis on stage, as some comics do. Her vision of comedy is old school, too. She said that she loved Nanette by Hannah Gadsby, who stopped by Largo in Los Angeles to see DeGeneres work out material for a special, but described Gadsby's celebrated special as less stand-up than solo show. She also disagreed with Gadsby, biting critic for the art form, saying, I think comedy is the best medicine. Yeah, making people laugh is the best medicine to a happy life, in my opinion. Before DeGeneres stumbled into stand-up, really honing her craft at a comedy club in New Orleans, near where she's from, Metairie, Louisiana. She had little idea what career she would pursue. In fact, DeGeneres said, in elementary school she didn't think she would live to see adulthood. I just didn't think I'd be alive, she said vaguely. Asked why, she said without a trace of self-pity that she was a very sensitive kid. She remained sensitive, she added, confessing that she stayed up the night before worrying that she had sounded like she was accusing Jimmy Fallon of stealing her show. She not only raved about him, but also texted me on Thanksgiving wishing me a happy holiday, mentioning she should also have praised James Corden and Seth Meyers along with Jimmy Kimmel. Then after this article went online, she asked if we could add Stephen Colbert's name to the list. Of the few memories she recalls from her youth, many are feeling out of place and bottled up, in part because of her upbringing as a Christian Scientist. She recalls the other kids being given shots, but her parents barred her from getting them or taking aspirin. With glassy eyes, she described her father, an insurance salesman who died in January, as kind and cautious, someone who wanted above all else for things to be harmonious. He was a very fearful man, she said. He couldn't hear or engage with anything not pleasant. Of course, Christian Scientists are like straight-minded people. It's like this is what it says in your religion, this is what you're supposed to believe, and this is how you're supposed to perceive society. And you're not allowed to think outside the box because it's, oh, that's not right. And then you get stigma from it when you think outside the box from what you're told to believe. DeGeneres stays off social media and entirely avoids the news. She finds Donald Trump upsetting and dangerous, so steers clear. I don't want to put that in me, she says. Of course, don't put anything that's going to put you down. Of course, you don't want to hear it. Of course, in the background, you hear people talking and mentioning, so you'll know what happens. And in the news, of course, people will bring you relevant news that you're going to use for your intro on your show. And if you don't want anything about Donald Trump, then you're not going to have them give you that information, you know? The people who do the research for you, they're only going to give you the news that you're willing to talk about, and that's what you're going to learn about and talk about, you know? Not the stuff that you're not interested in. It's still going on, you still hear it, but you're not going to put your focus on it and damper you. And of course, Trump is kind of a damper right now, especially with the government shutdown. Blech. But the Democrats are not any better in trying to help this negotiation. As she spoke, she glanced at her phone on the kitchen counter, made a call and immediately tensed up. What do you mean? She asked urgently. Is anything broken? Baby! She put the phone down, explained that DeRossi had been riding, fell off her horse during a jump and sustained a concussion. She was taken to the hospital and was now heading to the beach house. This was my biggest fear, she said, sounding shaken. I'm scared all the time for her. The mood darkened and the interview seemed beside the point, but as she does so smoothly on her show, DeGeneres shifted gears, asking her chef for an iced tea, and explained how her wife had helped her with her new special, attending every performance, giving feedback, and appearing on stage. And I will have in my lineup of photos a picture of DeGeneres on the air with her wife, Portia de Rossi. And in that picture, they're talking about how she urges her to move on, and how she says that she's a brilliant actress and a stand-up, and she doesn't have to only rely on her talk show to be her mainstream forever. DeGeneres said her wife also had a note about this interview. Portia said, just remember, the nicer they are, the more they are going to screw you, DeGeneres said, smiling disarmingly. Unsure how to respond, I replied awkwardly, that's good advice. Then I started feeling self-conscious and several minutes later asked my least nice question about the tabloid stories featuring anonymous complaints that she isn't always kind to those she works with. That bugs me if someone is saying that because it's an outright lie, she said. The first day I said, the one thing I want is everyone here to be happy and proud of where they work. And if not, don't work here. No one is going to raise their voice or not be grateful. That's the rule of the day. Exactly, like I said earlier. I mean, if someone's not happy working where they're working, why stay there? Why work with that boss, you know? You can always move. Unless, for some reason, you can't. But for the most part, you can find a better job that suits you where you're happy, you know? DeGeneres said that she stopped reading her press years ago, but that she knows what people say. I hear Portia and I are divorcing every other week or having a baby or whatever, she said, shaking her head. Of course, don't take what you read in the tabloid as always true. You need to take it for its face value, because maybe later you'll do a little more digging into actual real news, and then you find out that it's not even true. Or it's twisted in a way. Minutes later, as if on cue, DeRossi enters in full riding gear, cutting a glamorous figure in jodhpurs and dark sunglasses. DeGeneres embraced her and shouted, "Baby, stop riding horses." DeRossi seemed unscathed, although her condition would worsen the next day when she would have trouble concentrating. She's doing better, but is still healing, and she's bantered lovingly with her wife. She seemed charming and at ease, taking effusively about the special. She's just a bit more complicated than she appears on the show, DeRossi said. There's more range of emotion. DeGeneres recently took the option to extend her contract until the summer of 2020. Although she has been close to declining on the question of leaving, she changes her mind all the time. Her brother has been an advocate for staying on, making the case that at the age of Trump, the country needed her positive, unifying voice on television every day. At least she decided to stay until 2020. Who knows what will happen after that, you know? Because you can change your mind all the time. And while Trump's in president, we need someone like Ellen to lighten the mood of the day, you know? So at least maybe she'll stay until someone better comes into power. Hopefully he doesn't win again, but if he does, she'll need to stay longer than that, another 4 years. DeGeneres recently took the option to extend her contract. She gets mad when my brother tells me I can't stop, DeGeneres said, glancing over at DeRossi to see if she's gone too far. I just think she's such a brilliant actress and stand-up that it doesn't have to be this talk show for her creativity, DeRossi said. There are other things she could tackle. DeGeneres, who has largely done voice work in film, most famously as Dory in Finding Nemo, she said would love to do another movie and play someone unappealing. Her wife mentions doing radio or a podcast. I don't see the end of her show as her career ending, DeRossi said. DeGeneres smiled and considered the comment for a second, but she skipped the kindest response and went straight for the laugh. You have a concussion. What do you know? And yeah. So we'll see what she ends up doing. Of course, she'll probably continue this until 2020, and she'll be doing other gigs and stuff in between her show. So you'll see her doing other performances and other stuff in her career, because this won't just be the only thing she'll be doing. Like she did her show and on Netflix, and she did her voiceover for Dory in Finding Nemo, and she did play Dory in, I think it was Finding Dory, and you know, she did voiceovers, so she'll be doing other projects as well in between. I'm sure of it. Well, anyway, this concludes another episode, and you can comment and check my social media links down below and things that I'm selling. Maybe you'll find something to buy and support. Thank you again for watching, and have a nice day.